That's all? Okay.
Okay. Well, on the issue of farmers' herders clashes, no position was taken by the office of the Attorney General outside the scope of the constitutional provisions. The position of the office of the Attorney General is about freedom and liberty of movement, among others. And what the office of the Attorney General has simply succeeded in doing is making reference to relevant constitutional provisions and establish a position that each and every Nigerian is entitled to freedom of movement simpliciter. So the issue is whether that freedom of movement is constitutionally guaranteed or is not. And my answer to it is the freedom of movement is indeed constitutionally guaranteed. Now, on the issue of update relating to the $200 million being pursued in the United States of America, parties are engaging. There are multiple parties associated with it in view of the fact that the assets being pursued had indeed passed through multiple jurisdictions, UK and US among others. So we have indeed opened up discussions, and as it is now, mutual agreements are being discussed and negotiated upon. But one thing I can tell you clearly is that we are making progress, and at the end of the day, we shall, by God's grace, have this money returned back home in line with the established tradition of successes we have recorded as a government in making such recoveries. If you could very well remember, at a time in 2017, we succeeded in recovering $322 million. In 2020, we succeeded as well in recovering additional $311 million. So we have established a tradition of successful recoveries, and we do not expect this to be in any way different. Is there any other issue that has not been addressed, please? Sorry? Oh, the issue, huh? Oh, the issue of VAT. Well, as you rightly know, there were certain judgments obtained by some state governors at their jurisdiction and localities before their respective state high courts. And arising from those judgments and the laws that were passed by those state governments, the federal government filed an appeal against the judgment and against challenging the laws that were put in place, which I feel has been determined by the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal has granted an order of stay of execution directing these state governments to maintain status quo pending the determination of the main appeal. And these matters are being considered for determination, and some other governors have filed in an application for joinder, seeking to be joined in the matter as interested parties. But again, there is pending equally an application, a preliminary objection for that matter, challenging the competence of the action and indeed the judgment that was obtained. But the federal government is still looking at further possibilities, all options open in terms of challenging the action, the action of the state governments. But one thing that is fundamental that you need to know, as being the issue equally being considered for determination by the court, is the federal government is challenging the powers of the state governments to legislate on the issues associated with collection of VAT. And the position of the federal government as canvassed, which is being looked into by the judicial system, is to the effect that by our laws, the powers to legislate on collection of VAT is statutorily vested in the National Assembly. And with that in mind, it is not within the purview, scope, and powers of the state governments to legislate on the issue of collection. So what I'm saying in essence is just to give an insight as to the multiple contention between the parties has been determined, has been canvassed, presented for the determination of the court, and we are indeed litigating, contending these issues before the court, and the federal government is looking at all options at its disposal, inclusive of the possibility of invoking the jurisdiction, the original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, taking into consideration that the dispute at hand is a dispute between the state government and the federal government, in respect of which only the Supreme Court has jurisdiction to entertain, taking into consideration the constitutional provisions relating thereto. So this is the position we are as far as contention among the parties relating to the value-added tax is concerned. Thank you very much.
Thanks for checking out SYMFONI on YouTube. Please be sure to subscribe and like our videos for updates.